Good morning, Honorable. The Chief Guest. Today we have with us our esteemed guest, Dr. T.P. Shashi Kumar, a scientist, educator, security officer of a very higher level, a social worker, and moreover, what we have found him as a big philanthropist. Whatever he spoke yesterday among the boys, cadets, and all of us. He has been a high-level officer and a scientist in ISRO, the institution where the name is itself sufficient. Worked as a higher-level cartographer, providing strategic maps to Indian military forces and other higher-level institutions of India. Moreover, you would be happy to know that he has worked in RAW, R-A-W, Research and Analysis Wing. To work there as an officer is itself a huge challenge. He has shaped hundreds of school children and teachers like me and you to become what they want and achieve. His mantra is hard work. Now he is here to train and mentor us in many ways. He has been training youths across the country and visited more than 1,000 schools, whatever I could get from his speech yesterday. Let's welcome Dr. T.P. Shashi Kumar, who will certainly change and enrich us to become better human beings with sympathy, empathy, kindness, and moreover, modern educators for ever-changing, modern and dynamic world of science and wisdom. Thank you so much. Over to Dr. Shashi Kumar.
Namaskaram. Do you require something to make you a good teacher, or you are already a good teacher? To teach anybody else, it is very easy. But the most difficult part is to teach teachers. Correct? Agree or not? My passion for teaching came probably from my childhood, because all my elders are teachers. My eldest brother was a professor. The whole family of ours is teachers, because we together own the school in our village. It's celebrating 100 years. My grandfather started, his great grandfather, my grandfather, right? So we started the school, and then his mother is the manager now. Earlier my brother was the manager. It's a family owned school. So most of the elders got into teaching. But by the time I took birth, my eldest brother was a teacher in a college. His subject is zoology. So if you look at different subjects, we have zoology, botany, mathematics, physics, chemistry, social science, English, Hindi. Every subject we have teachers at home. But I became a space scientist. But then my passion for teaching made me to go back to my own university where I did my graduation, to become a director of an academic staff college. Academic staff college is where university teachers get trained. There are two courses. One is called orientation program. The another one is called refresher programs. Like you have B.Ed, no college teachers have B.Ed, right? Because they don't understand the education psychology, they don't know the teaching methodology, technology. Then as the university college teachers, we are supposed to give them some orientation towards teaching. So it's a abridged version of B.Ed probably. Actually, director has no great role. Our job is only to pick up people and then put them into classes, invite people who are eligible, make the funding, plan the courses. But I was passionate. So what I did is I sat in B.Ed classes, I sat in M.Ed classes, I studied the whole syllabus and authored a book in education. So that, yeah, I know the subject, right? That book is called Adaptive Learning. This was in 2005, 18 years back. It's available online from my website, you can download it. That's the only book on adaptive learning in India. Adaptive learning is how do you get adapted to the audience, either as a speaker or as a teacher. Actually, you don't require mic set at all. You are audible, right? Otherwise also. So what I did is I came to Delhi. There is a center for, if you have not visited, when you go to Delhi, you can visit that center. It's a beautiful center. Jawaharlal Nehru University campus has got a consortium for educational communication. They were the people who are producing classroom teaching in the Doordarshan. So they have a videography. So I learned videography. I went there to learn all the digital aspect of teaching for a month. Very, very, very tough course actually those days. It all depends on the director. The director that time was a great man, and deputy director was the retired vice chancellor of IGNOU. So we had great teachers. So M.M. Pant is a academician who was my teacher there. We became great friends. After that we travelled across India together to give lectures in different places. Where we learned how to videograph the classrooms, how to put animation, simulation. If you look at the textbook of early childhood, it's all colorful. Correct? But then as you grow to higher classes, the colorful pictures will go. You will have only black and white. Why? Why the 10th class physics or biology book of 10th class, if it is beautiful color picture, it will be very good. But we don't have. That is because the cost effectiveness. They decided we will not have colorful pictures. That's it. Otherwise, colorful pictures gives a better communication. Probably the other reason is as you grow up to 7th class, you have the ability to imagine. So up to 7th class, what we have to make the children to imagine, that ability should come. Then only from 7th they will be able to imagine. How do you imagine something? You can imagine something only from what you already know. Correct? When I say chapati, all of you have the figure of chapati. I only use a word. So it comes from me, reaches into your ear. Immediately the earlier picture what you have seen with your eyes comes from your software mind. The manas is the software and puts for you in the RAM. So this is a software. The whole human system is a software in which one input is enough for the other input to become active. Now morning I had a beautiful dosha, which is Malabar dosha, right? Only we get in our native place. So when I say dosha, for me there is a 3-4 different varieties. For you, maybe only 1 or 2 variety because it's not your staple food, right? Aloo paratha means immediately the aloo paratha picture will come. Correct? Dahi means dahi picture will come. Kisapus, you are not able to imagine, right? Because you never had kisapus in your life. Have you had? Okay. Kisapus is almost like aloo paratha. But imagine a idli is flattened and then something is filled inside. How it will be? So what you have done now? You took a idli, flattened it and then started putting something inside, right? Assume you don't know what is idli, what will happen? You will not be able to create it. So how education is created? From something known and something other known, you put them together and then start creating, right? All our dreams are like that. In your dream, you will see a giraffe with the head of an elephant. Because you have seen a giraffe, you have seen an elephant. In the dream, it's really a comic. It starts putting together and then tell you, oh, this is how it is. There is no logic, actually there is no logic. What did I say? Which item? Kisapus, right? There is nothing like that. I just made some words to make you to become creative. There is nothing called a kisapus. I have never seen. It's not there probably. But I could create something from your imagination. Most of the classes from 7th grade onwards, I don't know whether it is authentic what I am speaking, because it's all my observation. I write in my book. I have not read in many of the places. Up to 7th class, what is seen around you is what is being taught. That is life and life around life. That is up to 7th class. So you will learn little bit of environment science, the world around us, little bit probably which you may see sometime later, the cosmos and all that, no, solar system, little imagination. That's it. Weather, all that is being learned. But when you come to 7th, 8th onwards, you will have rational number, irrational number, you will have set theory, which are all you cannot see. So it becomes really tough. So how do you make knowledge is the process of learning and teaching. Therefore, the pedagogy is for the teaching methodology for up to 7th class and 8th class onwards, it's different. That is why we have TTC, lower trainings different, and B.Ed is entirely different. You need a graduation to teach. So you have to be a graduate in that subject so that you become specialists. You are all specialists in different subjects. But what happens today if you look at your 7th grade children or 8th grade, 7th is you are starting, right? 6th. So 6th grade, 7th grade children, if you look at them, they have real difficulty in language. English is a big problem. Not only in North India, South India it's much worse. How difficult it is to learn language is one question, which generally I address. I am from a Malayalam medium. I started learning English probably in 5th class. My teachers may not be good teachers of English because they have not educated in English medium. But I believe anybody can learn language very simple. It's not very difficult. I remember in the earlier days when I used to come to Delhi for giving lectures, I used to have a translator to give. I give public lectures in temples, spiritual lectures. When I speak in my mother tongue Malayalam, somebody who knows Hindi used to translate. Not that I don't know Hindi, but my Hindi was only a school learned up to 10th class. But then I found this fellow is making a lot of his own versions of my speech. Only once or twice I allowed. Second time onwards I said, yeah, I know how to speak in Hindi. I learned. It was only 1 month. Then I started giving public lectures in Hindi, most of the places where I go. The students think that speaking English is difficult. One reason. Second reason, even that is true if in South India, in my place, if somebody has to speak Hindi, very difficult. Even Hindi teachers don't speak Hindi. I don't know how many English teachers speak real English. It's always like that. My question is, when age 1, we are not able to speak any language. Our own mother tongue we don't speak. We cannot communicate when we are age 1. Age 3 we are able to communicate and tell our guardians or parents what we want without any grammatical mistake. Correct? So tell me, below age 3, if one can learn a language, when they become little elderly, teenage or teenagers can learn much better actually, or adolescent. How many years they require to learn a new language is my question. It doesn't take much time, but only thing, many of the people who interact with them speak the same language, but here what happens is we don't use the language. Now I am speaking to you in a language which is called English, right? Probably this is not the English. If you go to London, it's an entirely different English. Automatically, 1 week if I stay there, the end of the week I will change my style of speaking. If I go to America, it will become entirely different. That is because we are influenced by the people who communicate to us. Therefore, there are two types of language learning. One is conversation communication, the another one is literature. What we teach in our classroom mostly is only literature. It is not language. So how do we improve this? It was a great concern when I was part of university system, when I started teaching in engineering colleges. First time in Hyderabad, we introduced the communicative English, probably 23 years back. That's where I started teaching engineering colleges. There is a center for Jawaharlal Nehru Technology University where teachers are trained the same way. So I called all the English teachers. Actually, they are supposed to be the best teachers who can communicate. I called all the teachers and asked them to write their brief. You can call it as resume, or maybe because they are already employed, or maybe curriculum vitae or biodata. It was actually really sad to see that they have written the brief without their names. I collected all that and then I have to pick it up and then show and ask, whose is this? No? They don't know how to write a brief about them. They miss because they take it for granted. Everybody knows. Or I am writing, so why should I write my name? You understand, these are the people who have to teach engineering college students to make their brief for applying a job. You understood? The purpose of teaching English in engineering college is not to educate them in literature. They don't want to know who is Shakespeare. All that is not their interest. Their interest is for applying a job. How do I put my resume, biodata? Each word is different. That's why I am repeating in the same. Brief, curriculum vitae has to be put in a very specific style so that the first page what everybody reads is that, then get impressed. In Department of Space, I have been part of selection committees. I have seen many people. We have got a performer, so it's very easy to fill in all that. But sometimes we ask them, write a page about you and then give it to us. That is to look at how good they are in their communication skill. Utterly they fail. Engineering colleges, when I went there as an executive director, I was an engineering college executive director for 2 years. What I did was I went around all the classes and then asked them, write down a statement of purpose, SOP. I don't know how many of you know. Anybody who wants to get a job, wants to get admission in abroad, they are supposed to submit what is called SOP, statement of purpose. Why am I? Assume that when I come here, I must have an SOP. I am standing in front of you for a specific purpose. Why am I here? Correct. What am I going to do? If I cannot write that, no universities abroad will give you admissions. There, your mark is not considered, your background is not considered. Probably they won't even ask you the degree certificate because they know they will not cheat anybody here. Without degree, if you do post graduation anyway, you cannot do anything in your life, and they are selling it. The whole Western system, university degrees, the topmost to the lowermost are all business. They want students in, and you have to pay. The topmost university, probably the MIT, for a master's program will cost 3 crores Indian rupee. And I've got students who went there. I've got students who went from India, became utterly failure, committed suicide because they couldn't pass. So it's not that easy. Education is a big business. Education is a big business. So what they do, they don't look at your marks. They want you there inside so that when you become excellent, they will project you as an advertisement. You're all ambassadors. That's how they look at it. And assume you are a very brilliant student from Hyderabad. Some of my students are like that. Next time when they come for canvassing, they will project them as the, from your own city, somebody has become so and so and the payment is this much for them. In the job, the queue will be much bigger, right? So it's a business for them. So they don't look at it, but they are very specific about what are you going to do here next to 3 years. What are you going to do here next to 2 years? In Indian education, what happens is we don't have an SOP. Children come here. Why are you here? If I ask, you must be able to write down. This is why I am here in this class. There, every class is very costly. The teachers are paid more. And second one, no teachers are paid from the university. The teachers have to collect fund from industry. You understood? Don't think that you can become a teacher in America. Primary education is different. That is state responsibility. When it comes to higher education, assume that you want to be in a university with all the credit and degrees which you have. The university will ask you, if you come here, how much fund you can pull from the industry for the university. The university I told you it's a business. So you are being appointed there as a professor. If your salary is almost 15 crores per year, then you must get at least 30 crores for the university. Then you are paid 15 crores from the university. So every teacher has to advertise. And courses are also like that. In MIT, I want for computer science specialization, big data analysis is a master's program. They will have 100 courses. You have to pick up all these and then say, this is what I want to learn. And the university will say, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. This course you cannot do it under this. Substitute something else from the lot. And definitely you should have music, drama, some entertainment programs, all that, or yoga, many extracurricular, which are also under credit system, but not compulsorily you have to pass, but you have to study that. So who will give this? As teachers, we will project this. This is what I wanted to teach. University will agree. And if my course, many people come, my salary will be different. So each one faculty is paid different. In the same university, somebody is paid not by the age and the seniority and the promotions. It's all how much money you collect, how many students you get. It's like a buffet. Assume that you have a buffet dinner and you have a lot of counters. Everybody will come and taste. And somebody goes second time, third time. If somebody goes third time, you pay him more. Got it? So it's like per head sales sort of a thing. What happens? Therefore, every student is paying from their pocket. They value it more. Every teacher has to market themselves. In Indian system, what we have is, I became a teacher, I don't have to market. Somebody will come, buffaloes will come in front of me, I have to finish my class and then go, my salary will come. You are a good teacher or bad teacher, doesn't make any difference. Your job is almost guaranteed. Look at the neighboring country, China. All teachers, if you are a teacher of mathematics in 10th class, you will be asked to write an exam and pass 10th class maths first before teaching that subject. You understood? Not that you can look at the book and then write on the board and teach. No. You have to pass. And every year, even if you are 20 years experienced teacher, 21st year you want to continue in the same school, you will have to pass the exam in which you are teaching. I don't know how many Indian teachers will pass. Because teaching is very simple. Exam writing is not that simple, right? Got it? It's not that simple. Most of them will fail. Why I will tell you. We have the first job what I did after 2009 retirement from Government of India. I went to a small village town probably. It's like a small city, not a great place. where a rich man sponsored my 2 years. He said, spend as much as you want, let us see how. And he is the man who constructs buildings for Infosys without a quote. He can construct and give the bill, Infosys will pay him. That's how the buildings are constructed. Very rich man, very disciplined man. His village, I was there, and what I did was, first thing I wanted to have an influence in the village, so I picked up all the principals, teachers, senior teachers and all of them and then gave a teachers training program. I asked how many of you must have conducted elocution competitions in your schools. Everybody raised a hand. Yeah, we all conducted. So give me a topic which you can give it to your students. Write it in a small slip. I always carry small slips like this. So that's an exercise which I give. I gave them small slip and then told them, write one topic, that's enough. 23 principals were there. 18 of them wrote education, in which 13 of them made mistakes in the spelling. They are the teachers. They are not high school teachers, they are primary, pre-primary, everybody was there. So imagine they are the teachers who are teaching. That was actually a surprise for me to know that in Kerala, which is supposed to be one of the most educated states in India, you know why it happened? When I go back to my village, somebody comes to me and say that we are classmates, we studied together. And immediately my brother, who is 5 years elder than me, comes. The same fellow will tell, we are classmates. Then how come? Yeah, I failed 5 years. Up to which class you studied? Up to 8th class. So in 8 years, he failed 5 years. Do you think in India today anybody fails? Up to 10th class, everybody passes. After 10th also people pass. After 12th also people pass. Graduation also people get. Recently I went to one of the schools in suburbs of Hyderabad. He runs a CBSE school. And while dropping me back in the night, he told me actually his BTech is a fake BTech. He told me this is what, because I could guess that he is not a brilliant student. I said, how come you got a BTech here? He said, yeah, actually my BTech is fake. Nobody checks. You can imagine if somebody with a fake graduate can run a school, that to a CBSE, what is that we are doing? Got it? So education per se have no meaning, number one. Certificates have no meaning. But we have a dignity which says that, yeah, I know the subject. Department of Space runs with a lot of people. I did an HRD, the human resource. My MBA is in HR. So what I did was, my project was understanding ISRO's human resources really. We had great scientists. Tell me one earlier pioneering scientist of ISRO. You're all teachers, right? Tell me one earlier pioneering scientist of ISRO. Dr. Sarabhai. Very good. He is the person who started. Actually, originally he is a department of atomic energy. From atomic energy, he started space department. Next. K. Shivan, you know him just because he became chairman. Madhavan Nair is also like that. See, they are not great scientists. What I want to tell is, some people are, that's why I am saying, Vikram Sarabhai, because of his intelligence, he created a department. He had a vision. And you know what is that? He never allows us to call our director as sir. He holds Indian culture. He says, call me by name. Vikram Sarabhai is called by every one of his colleagues as Vikram Sarabhai only. No sir. The basic reason, when I go to different schools and colleges, I ask children, who is your principal? Maths sir. They know them as only Maths sir, physics sir, chemistry sir. Name and identity is gone. Therefore, the attachment is also gone, right? They are different. Sir is a great title given by Britishers. Now they themselves stopped it. Now still we call everybody as what? Sir. When are we going to change our system is a big question. Who has to change? It's all education system.
In America, there is no sir, but in England, there is sir.
Not only America, it is not there. Anybody who works under any American, even in Gulf, call their bosses sir, and the boss happens to be American. Next day you are terminated from office. They hate. You lose your job just by calling sir, because they are against British style. And Britain also they don't. They stopped it because Sir Isaac Newton, Sir C.V. Raman were all great titles. That is why the title Sir came. Decoration. But when Sir gave to Mahatma Gandhi, he rejected. He said, I don't want your Sir. Tagore accepted.
Rabindranath Tagore, it was thought that it should be rejected. But later on, I don't know what happened.
If he would have rejected at first rate, he would not have considered for Nobel Prize also. You understood? These are all great politics. We still believe that we are under Britisher. That's a problem. I am not a passionate person who wanted everybody to learn English. But today, you can't live in this world without those people who are in the back, if they can come front. When I edit this, I will get not the last portion. I can cut that. So what happens is, it is not language, it is also the culture, the system, the practices, all that we have to teach our children. It depends on where you want to post them, where you want to fill them, where you want to put them. When I am in this school, I did not stop any of your students, don't call me sir, I didn't say. But you can see most of my videos, when I go to public, I'll say don't call me sir. Because there is a system here which I don't want to contradict. Got it? But education is to make you part of the culture, make you a truly international citizen where you can communicate with anybody, talk to people. All these are essential. But as a school teachers, there is a great responsibility. I don't know how many of you know the difference between a school teacher and a school master and a station master. Earlier teacher was not the word. What was used was master, right? Who is a school master? I am a school master. Who is a station master? Railway station, right? And you have postmaster. Traditionally postmasters were schoolmasters. That was a part-time job given to post office. Correct? My uncle was a postmaster, he was also a schoolmaster. He was a craft master sometime in the school, and whenever there is a demand, they go to the post office. That's how probably the post office came in every nook and corner of India. Wherever school is there, post office is there. Wherever post office is there, school is there. Right? That's how the connection came. India is great in two departments. One postal department, second one is railway. The best connected place in the whole world is India. What is the difference between a station master and a schoolmaster? A schoolmaster trains the minds, and a station master minds the trains. Got it? So the schoolmaster's job is not to teach subject actually. Our job is to train them to become. They are all individuals. By birth, all are individuals. From the individual, you have to become a citizen. You understood the difference? I am using words very carefully. I know I am talking to teachers. So you will give marks, you will correct somewhere, you like to put red ink. What happens is, everyone is an individual, but an individual cannot survive. When a small baby at home, everybody have attention on that kid. You can educate a child without sending to schools. But what happens when they come to schools? Small things, they start fighting, they have to grab things, they have to give things. That is social life. If you don't become a social being, your whole education becomes failure. Department of Space, big projects, no individual can gain. No individual person is important in Department of Space. It's only team. No individual can make a rocket, right? So what we generally test is whether he has got a team ability or not, whether he communicates or not. Maybe 40 people are there, we will not take everybody into projects. We will take only 3 of them or 4 of them. Rest of them will do background job. They will not even get promotions. They will not go into the higher level. We have a flexible complementary system, not by age, not by experience. It's all flexible complementary. If somebody is too good, promotion is 4 years, I can demand, I am too good, I have done so much of work, call me for a review in 2 years. And then if he goes through, fine. Therefore a junior can become senior very fast. And if you don't love, one of the beauty of Department of Space is you can quit and then get some other places. Not very difficult. One of the person who left Department of Space still being called as a space scientist is Kalam. I left Department of Space in 20 years, but Kalam left Department of Space when he was in 18 years. He left Department of Space and went to DRDO. He was a defense scientist more than a space scientist. But still he is called as not a defense scientist, he is called as a space scientist. Only difference is instead of putting rocket, putting the satellite on top, you put a missile there. Activities are same, right? So what he did was, whatever is done in Department of Space, he took as it is and then implemented in defense and got the name. How could he do that as an individual is because he had lot of people who will still work in Department of Space. Though the product is for the defense. We don't worry who is using it. Because Department of Space is a research and development. It's not business. What we do doesn't matter. That's why yesterday there was a good question by one of the students. What do you do in Department of Space? We help all the departments. We help revenue. If somebody wanted to survey area, we will take up time. Forest department wants, we will help them. Narcotics departments want, we will help them. Defense want, we will help them. It's a combined job. It's like a mixed vegetable dish. Everything comes here, everything is given to everyone. That's like. So what happens in Department of Space if you are not communicative, if you are not marketing yourself, you will not become good. So one of my greatest fortune was I was part of a department where it's education, it's research, it's technology, it's marketing, it's communication, and I could work with a lot of great personalities. So today's world, most important factor, and I am the person who started Indian Institute of Space Technology. Madhavan Nair was a chairman there. I was in the headquarters. I was part of program planning and project management. I am a mathematician, but ultimately what I did was budgeting of his role. How much money is required? Who has to get promotions? We have to do every job. No escape. When I got a job after my PhD in mathematics, my first job was making maps from the satellite image. What is making maps? Geography. I was very bad in social science. So what I did, I started learning 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th grade social science. And I know geography probably much more than mathematics today. And when I came to department in the cabinet secretariat, my job was strategic management. I must know the relationship between all the different countries. So I have to learn the history of each of those countries. When Myanmar was constructing something, I have never heard about such a country because general knowledge was not part of our normal syllabus, right? So what I did, I have to study all that. So up to 10th class, 12th class, even 12th class today, what are you doing is actually teaching the children, not that subject. The difficulty with most of the teachers is they think that I am teaching mathematics. Actually, you are not teaching mathematics. You are teaching the subject which you know. The subject which you know, so that those students will learn the technique of learning mathematics. You understood? I am teaching somebody how to drive. Am I teaching them to drive on that road? That road happens to be one sample, so that I can teach them how to drive on that road, so that tomorrow on any road you can drive. So don't ever think that your subject, no, your subject is not important. The learning methodology is different, and that methodology, I don't know how many of you have read Jnane's principles. You have to read if you have not read. Probably you have done it in your B.Ed. Second one is styles of teaching. My book on adaptive learning talks about different styles of teaching. A history teacher is not a discovery teacher. History teacher explains what happened some time back. There is nothing great to think about it. But there are lessons to deduce from that. So it's a deductive. A physics teacher has to teach whether when the scooter is not working, where is the problem. So he has to open one spare part and then look at it, see that everything is perfect, spark plug is perfect, and the tube is giving sufficient fuel. He has to test. So the first diagnosis, second diagnosis, third diagnosis, so it's like an apprentice type. Mathematics teachers are always discovery teachers. But whether that is there or not, it depends on when you look at the class, we will know. I used to do one micro teaching program in which I observe the teacher and tell you your style is like this, but for this subject, this style is not good. You understood? So, different styles of teaching. Generally, a discovery teacher, he will write the problem and then keep quiet and then ask children, see whether you can solve it. So somebody comes with a new method. If somebody comes with a new method, explain it. Yeah, this is good, but this will take a longer time. So let us do like this, so it takes shorter time. So you will introduce new methods. That's why discovering. Discovering. There is a cover which is a trick, but you don't give the trick straight. What do? Allow everybody to look at it, to guess what is inside. Then after some time, I'll discover it. That's discovery. It's already there. Methods are there already. That's all what happens in the classroom. So mathematics teachers have to have discovery teaching. But what happens to the children? Everybody will not have all these ability. They have what to tell, 1, 2, 3, 4, they will go by step. Some students are like that. Some students wanted to hear stories. Some students don't want to get anything repeated. Only once you tell, I will listen. What happens to teachers in the classroom? You will repeat 3, 4 times. 20 minutes class, the deliverable for 20 minutes, you will deliver for 50 minutes. So what will happen? You are repeating many times. Most of the teachers will repeat. When you repeat many times, there is a tendency for bright student not to listen to you. You understood? I already know this teacher is going to repeat 3 times. Let me take rest. 3rd time when she speaks, I will listen. But sometime you will not. So he will miss that. Some students, even if 3 times or 4 times if you repeat, nothing will go inside because the vocabulary is not understood. Why children are not able to focus in classroom? Technical terms are not understood. The subject is full of technical terms. And therefore they feel, I am not able to. In between is, was, adjectives and all, connecting them, only they understand. Actual words, they will not understand. So what is to be done in the teaching methodology which I found is, probably the best method is to ask children to write down all the technical terms. You have 20 children in the classroom, all of them will write technical terms and then come to the class. Discuss on that. Make them to understand the technical terms very clearly. Otherwise, you may be telling kinetic energy. They don't even understand what is kinetic. Potential energy. What is potential? They don't understand. Resistance. They don't understand what is resistance. Polynomial. I don't know how many of your students would have opened a dictionary to look at the meaning of polynomial. Every maths teacher is supposed to consult dictionary. Every social science teacher is supposed to consult a dictionary. I don't know how many teachers would have seen the meaning, because you can get a B.Ed degree, you can get a degree by without looking at the dictionary and understanding the meaning. Understanding is entirely different from teaching, learning, exam writing and all that. Understanding means I know the subject. Commerce is there here? Any commerce teachers? Economics? Economics is there, no? Social science is there, right? Correct. What is the meaning of property? Or English teacher is there. What is the meaning of property?
Can be defined in many ways. The thing is that what you own or what assets do you possess and what you have accumulated.
Any chemistry teacher here? Chemistry, physics?
Connected to you, sir.
Eh?
Property, the things which connected to you, the things which are connected to you, it's a property.
Which characteristic? What is the root word for property? English teachers. See, a student is not behaving properly. What do you say? You are not my student, get out of the class. So what you said is connectedness. I connect to you as a student, but now what do? I disconnect you because you are not my student. Why? Because you don't have the characteristics which I expect. Understood? That is the property. The property of salt is, the chemistry we learned property of salt. What is property of salt? Saltiness. What is the property of sweet? Sweety. The sugar, sweet. What is the property of a student? The way in which they have to behave in the classroom. If it is not there, what she said, I own you and I disown you. Which is your school? Which is your school? Do you have a registered document that this is my property? We don't have. Which is your country? India. It's only a ownership. It's a belongingness. Okay, somebody is my wife. Traditionally, there is no registered document. Is there a registered document? I can call my mother, even if there is no registration that this is the son of so and so. Traditionally, it was not there. Only recently it happened, right? There is a great joke. A beggar goes to a palace and asks the king, vacate this place. I am the owner of this palace. Show me the document. Which king has got a document for his palace? He said, no, I don't have document because I killed the earlier king and then occupied. From then it is mine. Yeah, the person who you killed was my father. The beggar says, the person you killed was my father. To own it, should I kill you or are you vacating without that? So ownership is something which we have got a bondage, right? Which only when you have the property, the proper property. So the root word is proper. So when look at every word, look at the inside meaning, so that tomorrow when he learns either contract business in the business applications or commerce or economics or chemistry, the word property is inside him.
Sir, many a time it happens with the children and I feel bad about also. They know the calculation, they know how to solve this question, but they don't understand what is being asked.
That is what I am.
Even during invigilation, when they are what is being asked there, and suppose we just, out of concern tell them that this is what is expected to be done, immediately they calculate and they do. The same thing happens with SST also. They may not be knowing what measures to be taken, but had indeed what steps to be taken, they can immediately pen it down. The thing is that sometimes certain critical, difficult words are used in questions which generally, make them stuck and they are not able to do. Because
Why the question papers uses such words?
That's I really feel bad about.
Yeah, no, it is not bad. We wanted to filter from everyone. See, we have 100 people. Out of 100 people, we cannot make everybody to go to graduation.
In CBSE question papers, I have always seen
See, that is because CBSE has got a national view and then wanted people to do that. It depends on which state government, which syllabus which we are following. See, understand, when I am teaching my students, I know all these 10th class will not go to 12th class. I am not talking about this school, most of the places, right? So I have to filter them. So what is education examination's job? Education in examination, we are filtering people. When I am teaching science, chemistry in the 8th grade, I don't know among these children who is going to be a PhD in chemistry tomorrow. My expectation is my student will go to graduation in chemistry. So first I told you, you don't have to worry about the subject. There is another part of it. I must market my subject and make my children, when I am making them to drive on this route, my job is not to just to tell them you are learning driving. Make them to enjoy that process. They will be able to drive on that route for longer so that they will learn better. So every teacher has to be a marketing person for their subject. So that is why I said terminology is very important. Don't take your syllabus, look at it. Now you are comparing one syllabus to another syllabus. Your students tomorrow when they go out, it is not based on syllabus. They have to be in the open market, right? So which syllabus? No syllabus. You have to be beyond the classroom, beyond the syllabus. I have got a book on Civil Service Prelims Handbook. I tell children 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th and 12th grade. All the syllabus you study, you become eligible to write any entrance examination in the whole world. What is being asked after graduation for Civil Service UPSC exam? The syllabus is 10th grade. But the way in which it is asked is different. Understood? The minute difference in the meanings of those words. That is what even in MNC companies they do. I was doing a paper called a Campus to Corporate. What I was teaching was 7th grade, 8th grade English. Mathematics of that grade. What is mathematics? Mathematics is only English sentence which you have to convert it into equations. You understood? I will tell some line which probably, okay, the old traditional mathematics were also like that. ഞങ്ങളും ഞങ്ങളോളവും അതിൻ്റെ പാതിയും ഞാനും ചേർന്നാൽ 100. All of us equal to that and half of that plus 1 will become 100. Then tell me how is the number. Actually this is a sentence. So I have to imagine x is the whole number. Double that and triple that will become 3x. 3x plus 1 is equal to 100. Therefore x is equal to 33. 3x plus 1 is 100. So 3x is 99. Divided by x, then you will get 33 you will get. Divided by 3 you get 33. So what happens is the sentence have to be converted into equations. Whether the student has got the ability or not is what I am testing. So how do I test that? I can only give different ways of explaining it so that anybody explains in any way I am able to capture it. That is what I am doing in my teaching. So when I teach mathematics, when I teach physics, I am teaching chemistry, terminologies may be common, but the interpretations of those terminologies and that context will become entirely different. Generally in our MNC companies, when we give questions, what is the antonym? Antonym is the technical word, opposite is the normally used word actually. Okay, so I have to tell both because some people don't understand what is antonym. So antonym for fat. What is antonym for fat? Lean. Then another option? Thin. Another option? Slim. Now the options are given A, B, C, lean, slim, thin. Select the right one. This is how the questions are set. So which is the right one? Why thin is not correct? That is basically mathematics. You know A opposite is B, then B opposite has to be A. Now what is the opposite or antonym for thin? Thick. So that option is gone. So you are wrong when you said thin. This is how the logic You understood? Now, thin is what? Thin and lean. Is there a difference? We call somebody lean beauty. Will you call somebody thin beauty? Why? Why we don't call somebody thin beauty? Thin is without energy. Lean is with energy. Now my question is, fat is with energy or without energy? Fat is without energy.
With energy.
Without energy. With energy, fat is called a fat person with energy is called a, the person is fat means he has no energy. The person with a lot of energy and he looks so bulky, we don't call him fat. There is another word. Which is that word? Stout. You understood? So with lot of energy, huge build has to be opposite to what? Not energy or with energy? With energy. That's a logic, right? So the slim is the antonym. This is logical reason. This is not English. This is mathematics. You have to measure. You have to look at physics. The energy has to be measured. English is only a language for communication. To communicate, I must know a lot of things. The color is red. Red is an English word, quite sure. But to decide whether it is red or not, what should I do? I look at the RGB combination and look at whether R is totally 255 and G and B is actually 00. Then I will say, no, this is not red. Actual red is different. Somebody says this is white. No, this is not white. This is combination of RGB. Then it becomes physics, right? So if you don't understand different subjects, your communication itself will become confusing. Why is it required in a MNC company for a job? You are communicating to international people where precision is most essential. Somebody says red, no. For LKG student, RGB, maximum yellow, black, white. Good enough. Magenta and all they don't use. Have you seen Leo toys with the magenta color? No, never. They only because primary colors are what the visibility, RGB, and the negative of those colors, yellow, magenta and cyan. But magenta cyan is not practically used anywhere. The negation will not work that well. So at different ages we need to make them to understand technical terms based on their ability. So why am I giving difficult questions? It is not difficult questions. I wanted to filter them out. It is not selection process. In MBA, I am a professor of management. When we talk about selection, I keep saying it is not selection what I am teaching you. I am teaching you what is rejection. Any promotion, 2 vacancies, 70 people. Is it selection or rejection? The committee always have a problem. When I wanted to have two electronics department, 2 professors, when I advertise 2000 people will, so what am I doing? Am I selecting 2 people or rejecting? Rejection is the biggest problem. I must find reasons for rejecting people. So examination is a big filtering process. If you start worrying about examination and marks, what happens is your focus will be only on selecting those topics which will come for examination. So you are preparing there for examination. No, don't do that. They may pass this exam, but later they will fail. I'll tell you, from Punjab, a lot of people will go abroad for studies. But most of them fail there. Because there are universities which will give you admission without IELTS. IELTS is not required. Earlier TOEFL was not required. In some universities they will say come, because this is business for them. We will give you admission. What happens in the classroom when the teachers speak, they don't understand because their English communication is very bad. They fail. So we are not preparing them for one examination just to pass. Understand? We have to prepare them for any examination. Let me take any examination, I will pass it. So your job is not teaching the subject, your job is to maintain them as a good citizen of the country, citizen in the international scenario today, understand and make them to learn the culture. I tell here you have to call everybody sir, 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 no problem. But when you get out of this world, if you are in an MNC company, if you call sir, job is gone. Unless and until you teach them the culture of the different world, that comes from the cinema, that comes from different. No, I don't know how many of you make your children to look at, ask them to learn what happens. General knowledge is that. Lot of general knowledge. General knowledge is what is in the other part of the world. I am not worried about what happens in Afghanistan today. Is not an answer. Social science is taught because I want to know the whole world. The geography has to be understood. Don't think that it is necessary only maths teacher should teach maths, chemistry teacher should chemistry. No. Your children are learning every subject. I never thought in my life that my maths is good enough to live. That's what I thought. But when I joined the Department of Space, started learning social science, geography, I told you. But after some time, my job was photo lab. The whole Kargil war maps were printed in my custody. I have to learn how to mix. Sometime the road is not seen. So I use different filter to process it. So that in the snow, the black road will be appearing very, very, very bright. I change the color, change the chemistry inside, so that I have to change the chemistry so that the print will look better. For each climate, for each geographical situation, my chemistry is changed. So I will do a lot of experiments on chemistry there. Practical chemistry you can see in my photo lab. And I have to learn all this chemistry, which will make this item better, look better. Filtering has to be done. Light, optics have to be learned. Your children tomorrow will go to different job. So each subject, passing is very simple if you know the subject. But passing is possible without knowing the subjects also. So focus on learning. Entertain as many questions as you can. Classroom is not one-way traffic. I am so happy many of your children, yesterday asked how many of you know countries and capitals. There were at least few children who knows more than 50 countries and capitals. But when we go to different schools, no. So I am very happy that the thrust is given on general knowledge, learning by heart. Learn by heart. People say don't learn by heart. Don't learn by heart. But learn by heart. Your heart should be open. It should go inside your heart. It should be effective. So that at any instance you will remember. Why people don't remember in writing examinations in the exam hall? That is because knowledge is kept in the brain. Where is the picture of your mother? Is it in the brain or in the manas? Heart is a difficult word. Sometimes English is really horrible. Right? Heart. What do you say? Heart, what will happen? The biology teacher will say, no, heart is not the place where mothers can be put. They will push them into pieces. Correct? They will compress the mother. So manas is the software. That is a big problem in the Western knowledge. Western knowledge, the English people doesn't have mana. Manas is not there. It's only heart. So when your manas you become impatient, you become angry, automatically the heartbeat will change. So the related heart as manas. In Kerala, in most of the songs, I have not seen in any other language, probably you can correct me if it's there in your language. If somebody loves somebody else, they will call them as Karale. No, a lot of songs are there. Karale. Karale in English is liver. Kidney. Because when your chemical reaction changes, when your feeling changes. Therefore, will you call your girlfriend as my liver, my kidney? Why only you call them as sweetheart? Why can't you call them as sweet kidney? Understood? So this is how we relate, because we don't know where the reaction happens. Wherever the reaction happens, your pressure changes, right? Pressure changes means the whole blood chemistry changes. Blood chemistry changes because chemistry changes. Chemistry changes because the kidney is functioning in a different style. The liver is functioning in a different style. Therefore, there is a synonym used in some of the songs for in some languages accordingly.
On the lighter side, even in Hindi, we say, "Na, usko dil de diya."
Dil de diya, correct? That's what I'm saying. But that is because we know that that portion is what is reacting to my requirements in the breath. Breath rate changes, so I need more. So heart also is like that, right? Originally, our learning should be where? Mana. With passion. I love maths. If your student says I love maths, done. He will learn it. So, you have to market. Market for what? For them to love the subject. Generally, when some students comes and then says, no, I don't love maths, definitely I ask your maths teacher is bad, no? Correct? If maths teacher is good, they love maths teacher, maths is easy for them. The other way also, I love subject, therefore I love the teacher. So all teachers should make your students to love you. Love you in such a fashion, whatever you can do for that is up to your trick. So that you grab attention. So that when you speak, their attention is there. How do you gain attention? Your language is understood by students. How do you make sure your language is understood? Learn the technical terms. This is what I do generally. Therefore, your teaching becomes effective, E effective and A effective. I thought I'll speak 1 hour. I spoke 1 hour 5 minutes. Now you can ask me questions. Write a brief on what I spoke so far. What you understood. What is that you gained by sitting here and listening to this? Is it worth? Is it good? Is there anything that which you want further? So write it down. Then appendix, ask some questions. Write down some questions.